Hey everybody, my name is Derek Schmidt, and today I want to talk to you about how you go about writing a blog post. So when you're creating a post for your blog, obviously step one is to provide as much value as you can to your reader, right? You don't want to just create a post just to have something on your blog. That's the complete wrong way of going about it. Instead, it's better if you create one really good blog post per month that users actually find value in and they're reading through. And so how you go about writing that blog post, it's very similar to what you were taught in grade school when you were learning how to write a paper or an essay, for example. Generally, you have an introductory paragraph. This is a brief paragraph that explains what the reader's going to get through the rest of the article or the blog post. And then you start with paragraph 1, if I'm using the example from your paper or your essay in grade school. Now, paragraph 1, I'm going to change that to heading 1. You have things in websites in HTML such as heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. But how do you know when to use them and how often to use them? So think of it like this. Paragraph 1 generally has the heading 1 right before the second paragraph. Now the second paragraph would expand upon whatever you typed into heading 1. Then following that, you'll have heading 2. Heading 2, again, just kind of explains the sub-paragraph and what they're going to learn in that section. Then you've got heading 3 and heading 4 and heading 5. Now in terms of how many times you use this, you should only have one heading 1 tag on a page. Now, some people will debate that and say, with HTML5 and defining sections and everything, you can have more than H1 tag. But for non-technical people, just have one heading 1 tag. Following that, you can have 2 to 3 heading 2 tags. You can have up to 3 to 5 heading 3 tags, and about as many as you want on the heading 4, 5, and 6, if it's required. In terms of the length of the post, what you should write about and how long it should be, try to aim for a minimum of 1,000 words. Now you can get by with 500 words if it's a really valuable article. However, Google's whole thing is they crawl the text on your website, right? And that's how they find out, is your article, does it match what the user is searching for? So try to aim for having at least 1,000 words on a blog post. And then keyword density. This is how often your keyword shows up within that article. And so for every 100 words, you want to have your keyword in there about 2 to 3 times. This is the keyword that you're trying to rank for, right? And so that's a term called keyword density. You want to aim to have about a 2 to 3% keyword density. Now, don't get me wrong, your article is not about stuffing this content full of keywords or seeming really spammy. Ultimately, your job is to provide a lot of value to your readers so that they stay on your blog post, they read the whole thing, and they potentially explore other parts of the website. So aim for a keyword density of 2 to 3%. You can underline and bold things throughout the article. Always try to include at least one image. It's way better if you can include a custom image and not just some stock image. I think everybody's just kind of tuned out lately to stock photography. They no longer resonate with that, but we are aesthetic creatures, so you want to have some visual elements to it. If you can have a video, that's even better. Link the video in your article. Now, how you can get into a rhythm of creating these images and these videos is just set aside a day, once a week or a couple times a month where you just knock out a bunch of photography around the office, or a bunch of videos around the office relevant to what you're going to be writing about, or what you're seeing in the business, or what your clients may be searching for, or pains that they're going through, and then try to write articles around that. So the last thing I want to share with you, it's a really easy thing, but a lot of people forget it. When you're adding an image to your blog post or your website in general, you definitely want to include the alt tag. Now, when you upload an image, you should be prompted to include what's called alt text. This is a really easy place for you to include a keyword, but it's also a really easy place for you to make your website more accessible to people who may be visually impaired, right? So Google has no idea what images are about. You can generally include a description in the alt attribute, and that tells Google what this image is about, but it's also what is read off to users who have some sort of visual impairment. So don't forget to include your alt tags in your images. Create a structured article with 1 heading, 1 tag, 2 to 3 heading, 2 tags, 3 to 5 heading 3, and so on, and then supporting paragraphs for each section. Again, at the end of the day, it's mainly about providing value to the user. These things are just icing on the cake. Adds a few more bells and whistles, should help you with your ranking, but ultimately it should help you convert some more users from your web traffic. So this is Derek Schmidt checking out. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments.